Hey, it must be Thursday.
Rob, it's Thrive with Jason. We got Rob over here. We've made it to Thursday. It's been a couple weeks since we've been on, Rob, but hey, I'm happy to be here. I'm so excited about the guest today, and really, I'm not excited about what you're going to brag on this morning.
I would never do something like, "We are the champions, my friend."
You won the main game, Rob. We're talking
No.
about the NCAA bracket here, people, just so you know. We
Yes.
talked about it before. But
March
Rob,
Madness curse.
pulled it
Jason,
out.
here's the deal. Jason was so scared to come on and talk about this. He waited 2 weeks to do the show.
It's true.
That's how embarrassed he was. It was so sad. I was like, no, man. He's like, I can't do next week. I'm like, no, we're doing Thursday. I told him I was going to go live by myself just to talk about the fact that yours truly, won the championship.
See, I just don't get it, Rob. I've won 49 of the 63 games, best I've ever done, but I didn't win the main one. That's where you pulled it off with the weight. So
Here's a life
I
lesson.
give it up to you.
Here's a life lesson. It never matters. All the little victories, they're neat. It's the big victory that matters. I don't know who said that. Maybe it was just me.
Man,
I'm sure it wasn't John Maxwell, but I mean, it was somebody. Somebody said, it's kind of, we talked about this off camera. It's kind of like, and I really, this is a great way to look at it. It's kind of like, remember the New England Patriots? Mm-hmm. Perfect season. They get to the Super Bowl. Everybody's going, this is not even going to be a close game. But you got to play the game.
You do.
You got to play the game, man. And
yep.
the Giants walk out, win it all. And it's great to brag about how they won all those games during the season. But I heard Tom Brady talk about this. He said he'd rather have lost a few games during the season because it didn't feel great to him. And so congratulations to me for winning because, I could say the best man won, and he did. But that would seem kind of petty. And you know me, I take the high road when all possible.
I get it. Yeah. Yep, you do.
But that was great. Now we take a break from that whole thing, though, because now we got to wait all the way till football season, which Jason really doesn't want to talk about that either. Although I didn't win.
We do have the NFL draft coming up here in a couple of weeks. So we got the next step. The NFL, as you know this, they try to plan something out every month to keep people interacted, keep the level of hype up. And I'm excited for the draft.
So who do you think the Broncos are going to pick?
I think they're actually going to trade back a little bit because there's a quarterback that's going to be available at this time. We don't need one. So I think they're going to trade back and pick up a running back. I think Omarion Hampton out of North Carolina is going to be the pick.
So you think he's going to fall that low?
I think so. At least I hope. Okay.
He's good. I mean, he is really, man. I was watching some film on him. Fantastic running back. Yes. And man, that would be cool. Seahawks, who knows? They need an offensive lineman, but they'll probably draft a wide receiver. That seems to be there.
Probably right.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, we don't have it. But
hey, Rob, I have my new shirt on today. Did you see this?
Looking sharp. Still don't have any. I still don't have any. But
I know, but hey, for our audience, oops, not that one. Let's go to this one here. He is King.life. You guys, it's a sponsor of our show. Great sponsor. Man, amazing t-shirts, amazing long sleeve shirts. As you see, it's awesome thing. So please check that out. He is King.life. Our discount code is ATV10 to get you 10% off. But we'll keep that code up on the top of the screen up there, Rob, for people to check it out. It'll be on the whole show.
It is, and great stuff, and it's a great way to help support what we're doing here with Thrive and everything else that's going on with Abundant TV. So if you're maybe catching this on the replay and saying, man, those are two fantastic gentlemen for which I would enjoy watching many of their episodes. I don't know who those people are, but if you're out there, you can also catch us on the network every Friday at noon Eastern. The replay of this show, plus on demand. Just go to the app and download the Abundant TV app, available on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, or your favorite device like this, which brags about the fact that I am the champion.
We need some background music, you know.
Well, hey,
champion.
Yes, my dad said if you don't toot your own horn, no one will toot it for you. So
I'm gonna have to remember that. Write that down. Write that down.
Yes, it's very true though. But hey, we have some really neat guests today.
We do.
And I'm super excited about today's show. And I'm going to let you introduce our first guest. I have had a chance to meet her. She actually spent some time in my old state of Washington. Not confusion, much different.
Yes. Yep, Washington, Oregon, an ex-TV personality. But our first guest today is Molly Trotter Gomez, a former television news anchor and ESPN contributor turned international speaker, Kingdom entrepreneur, and co-founder of Kingdom Alliance. She's also the co-creator of KIM 10 Speaker Academy and Radiant Leadership Coaching Certification, where she's helping equip leaders and coaches for bold, Holy Spirit-led impact. Please welcome Molly.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. I'm super excited to be here.
Yes. Amazing to have you on. We've had a few different discussions in the past, I guess in the past few months, so we've got to know each other and see what you guys are doing with Kingdom Alliance, with your speaking things that you're doing. And then, like I said, with your background, Rob and you kind of shared some contacts and some connections with that. So again,
but hey, welcome. Molly, who
yes.
do you think of the two of us, who's the best at bracket picking?
Gosh, I knew you were going to rope me into this. I'm like, great. So now I have to toot somebody else's horn instead of my own. Is that what's happening?
That's
it. Yeah, see, Rob?
Yes.
You know what? I'm sorry to say, Rob, I'm going for Jason because I'm an underdog person. Underdog. You know what? Just because you didn't, we talked about he got more points, even though you won the big show, the big dance. But I'm sorry, I'm an underdog person. So Jason, this one goes to you. So don't hate me, Rob.
Sorry, Rob.
That's so sad. I guess Molly likes losers. So that's
I had to go there. Oh man. Well, Molly, let's talk about Kingdom Alliance. How did this happen? Like, it's a unique blend of purpose and provision. Share how the community is helping people like grow spiritually, save money, and even some travel things, right?
Yes. Well, you know what? Kingdom Alliance came out of a big vision. My background, we briefly kind of touched on a few pieces. I was in television, also got into digital marketing, network marketing, and really discovered business for myself after television. After I got out of TV, I said, I don't want to work for the man anymore. Yes. So I wanted to discover, personal growth and being able to do things on my own. And it really got birthed out of a vision. Really, it started from my business partner, Michelle Schaefer, where, for her background, she always brought God into the mix of everything that she did. She's made multiple 7 figures in network marketing. Her and her husband have had really a lot of success in that industry, plus traditional business. But there was always a limit of like what you can say when it comes to bringing God into the mix of growth, leadership, all of those types of things. When she brought me into the team to build this company, I thought the same thing. I came from the coaching world. When she plucked me out of the coaching world, temporarily to be able to come in and build this, I thought the exact same thing of, wow, like people are so full of themselves and the world and the success that they want to create. Where's God in all of this? Because he is the master multiplier. So building this community, it all stemmed from personal and professional development with just biblical principles at the center. So Jesus at the center. Because here's what we know about true transformation, whether it's business, life, marriage, relationships, whatever. Coaches and other individuals can't transform others. Only Jesus can transform, period. Only he can. And when you have an environment that cultivates that, content that cultivates that, deep dive studies, courses, classes, whatever that may be, things actually transform and a new route is taken, and a positive one, right? Not the one that the world reinforces. So Kingdom Alliance is a place where specifically we are definitely known for our academies, where we take a deep dive and a biblical approach when it comes to leadership, speaking, being able to network, have sales in your business, identity, relationships. And a word that people probably won't equate to with maybe transformation or business growth is healing. A lot of people are searching for the strategy, searching for the next marketing, twist or AI thing, even though AI is great. We've talked about that before.
Yep.
However, it really, really depends on, what is it inside of me? It's that inside out transformation. What is holding me back? Because it's always something inside of us that needs to heal or get rid of it. And unlock another level. And we've seen that with the thousands of people going through our academies. And now we actually have a coaching program where we coach Radiant Leadership coaches where then they can teach this. So we're really about discipleship and really being able to bring God back to the center. But this is the piece that's missing, is facilitating this transformation, but knowing it's not us, it's the Holy Spirit really moving through that. So there's an opportunity for people to come and be a coach that can implement in their own coaching program, or we do have a membership opportunity where you can take part in a revenue sharing program by inviting people into the academies.
That's awesome. Yeah, this whole coaching piece, people, they don't think they need coaching, right? But
Yes.
we all need coaching. You look at, we talk about athletes. Me and Rob kind of bounced this off there. Even the best athletes in the world need coaches. So when you're talking about that with this Radiant Coaching certification that you guys have, it's virtual academies, equipping kingdom-minded coaches. Like, talk about the Radiant Coaching certification, what that is, like who would be ideal for this?
Ultimately, I mean, for people that want to be able to have an impact, when you start with impact, a lot of people get into coaching for impact, or, some obviously get in because they want to make a lot of money, because there is a lot of money in the coaching industry. But how are you doing it? I know just even on a spiritual perspective, I'm going to touch on this really quick. There's something that is shifting. There's something that is shifting in the way people are doing life, the way they're operating, even in business. I've met so many business owners, 7, 8, 9-figure business owners that are like, what I'm doing now actually isn't working. It's not the same is not working. Something has to shift and change. And a lot of it has to do with taking a look inward, growing ourselves, as well as helping people take that deeper dive so they can really meet God and God can meet them where they're actually at, rather than just kind of compounding with all of this strategy that is getting you literally nowhere, which breeds frustration. So being able to walk people through this coaching program, not only so they can transform themselves, because coaches also individuals need to pour into themselves when you're also pouring out to others. A lot of people stop that factor of, oh, hey, let me go help other people. And I don't need to help myself anymore. Not true. You need to be able to take care of yourself as well, because otherwise, what is the wisdom coming out of? The well is dry. So being able to walk people through that, it's giving them not only their own personal freedom, but their business even more freedom and multiplication that they haven't been able to see otherwise, because of what's happening inside of these academies in this deep dive. And really with this program, people can actually walk into it. Everything's mapped out, written out. We even have services that people can come in and be able to help when it comes to the scaling of the business, where it can be a nice little one-stop shop for people that don't know how to do that or are struggling with that. But we've had the proven transformation, which is also one of the things that people are after. What actually works? Yes. We have proof that thousands of people have gone through this, have had transformations, and now over 50 coaches and many more to come that are teaching this, which is incredible. And honestly, no credit to us. It's just what he's birthing, and it's a now thing. Like, this is what the world needs right now.
That's amazing. Amazing. In the conversations that I've had with you in the past, and even just bringing it up here, one thing that really stuck with me is how you're talking about people just surviving. And I know you're going to talk about this here, but it just stuck with me, because that is maybe a lot of our audience, that they're just surviving. What are some of the top shifts that people need to make and step into a lifestyle of faith-filled freedom? Like, it's a different concept, but that just surviving mentality is probably most of the people out there.
Yes. I mean, this is one of the biggest strongholds that the enemy has on believers, is like, okay, I'm just going to survive, or, just try to dodge an attack here and there. The number one question I love asking people is, when are you going to stop telling yourself that story? When? And when you decide, I'm going to stop telling myself that story, you are going to do something different. And yes, change can be challenging. But what's also challenging is staying stuck and just being stuck in that place where it's like, oh, I'm just surviving. And there's years like that. I've had years where I basically was like, I just have to keep my head above water. And this is just what it is. But I also had to focus on, okay, what can I do to improve and be better? Or honestly, just be at the feet of Jesus with my business, with my marriage, everything. And a lot of people want to just put it on their own shoulders. And I personally can carry a lot of weight. However, what God has shown me through what we've built in this company, he's like, you will never be able to carry this weight alone. We have to be able to not only disciple and help other people carry the weight, but obviously he's here. And it's really being able to lean on him and trust him at every moment and every step. So you're not just surviving, you're actually healing and growing and getting the strength that you need from him. And a lot of people miss out on that, which is really sad.
It is sad. But that just surviving mentality, I think we've all had that in different seasons of our lives. But I love how you step out in faith and just walk with Jesus. Like, keep your gaze on him, keep your faith with him, and he will move you in different directions. But just amazing. Kingdom Alliance, we have the QR code down there so you can check out more with Molly. But what you guys are doing with Kingdom Alliance, like we've done a lot of this space. We've talked about doing some more stuff together, because it's all about the gospel. It's all about Jesus, getting this stuff out there, showing people that there's another way, that you can marry business with with faith, and it's okay that you can do them together, and it's all being led by Jesus. This is incredible stuff, Molly. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate just having time on your show and being able to share it, because at the end of the day, like, you never know what's going to be for somebody until they, hey, I'm done telling myself that story and I need to do something new. So this could be that new that you've been praying for. Take the leap and let's definitely connect.
Awesome.
Hey,
Check it out.
Molly, I have a question, because I like to pop in and ask questions.
Oh, wait, you like me again, even though I chose Jason. Good. I'm so glad.
I'm putting up with
Rob, she's got to be back on the show. Yeah.
You've got 2 minutes left of your segment. I can put up with you for 2 minutes, and then you're done. So never to be heard from again. Here's my question about this, because we talked about coaching and stuff. Let's say there's somebody out there, and just give them one piece of advice. Let's say they think, man, I would love to coach. What would be their first step? Well, what kind of separates good coaches from somebody that probably isn't cut out to be a coach?
I always, inside of our Kim 10 Speaker Academy, we talk about this, where, it's just like, it's a similar, I'll paint the picture. People who want to be a public speaker versus being a good communicator. Public speakers are about themselves. How did I do? How was I perceived? I. A good communicator is about, how did I serve the other person? What did they get? Did they get what they need? And really checking in on, how was that for them? So when it comes to coaching, is it about you and what you can make and the influence that you can gain? Or is it really about the transformation for the other person? Because a lot of coaches are out just for themselves, and they don't actually lead and walk people through transformation. And that is a huge gap in the industry. And that's why a lot of people are like, oh, here's another coach, just another waste of money. It's not true. You have to find the ones that are rooted and willing to walk it out with you, so you actually truly can transform. And then the person actually has to do the work, obviously. Yeah. But it starts with the person leading you, and where's their heart at, and how do they truly want to serve and help you.
Amazing. Rob, we got to get her back on the show. I'm sorry.
No, definitely not. She's never. I can be on her show. I get to be on her show coming up.
Yes,
so
I cannot.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, see, she gets to give it back to you. Awesome.
Hey, Molly, thanks so much for being with us today on Thrive. We appreciate you so very much. Man, that was a great one. That was really cool stuff.
Yes, awesome, and love Molly, because she can talk sports with us, Rob. We got that talk,
Yeah,
so
she's awesome.
She's got everything. She's there. She's amazing. Check out Kingdom Alliance, guys. But Rob, our next guest is the epitome of Thrive.
Yes,
you know him. I know him. We've known him for quite a while. Ty Shane, transformational speaker, coach, and overcomer. Man, his overcoming story, which we'll get into that, is incredible. Your journey from addiction, homelessness, incarceration to purpose and leadership is nothing short of miraculous. Now you integrate faith with AI. Ty Shane empowers others to face their darkness and walk boldly in the light of Christ. Man, Ty, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me on. That was good. That was Molly's. That was really good, man. I feel like I just gained a whole bunch of knowledge and wisdom from a 10
brother. Thanks for being on the show. Man, we've got to know each other quite a while, for past couple of years here, and I know you do some men's group with me, and just seeing your walk with faith and hearing your story, there's not quite like a story like this, man. Like you are incredible. Like from you being born and that whole story to the rest of your life and your walk. Tell the audience a little bit about your story. I know we don't have a lot of time to go on everything in depth, which we will at some point with the audience, but man, like hit some highlight points, low light points, like show your walk with Christ. Like tell the people about this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to premise it with everybody has a story, and your story will inspire and it will move other people. And when people can see themselves in somebody else, that can literally be that one little thing that they need to break through to the next, thresholds in their life. And so everybody needs to be sharing their story. It doesn't matter. It's not my story versus your story. All of our stories can help somebody. And even just one person, that's impact. That's potentially, that's generational impact. And so my story is just the typical childhood trauma, foster youth, adopted, led to addiction, a lot of rebelliousness. You don't really know how to fight it because you don't understand it and you don't know why you do the things you do. And then 7+ years of incarceration, just literally couldn't stay sober, literally just bondages. And it was my childhood self's perspective. So a child cannot comprehend their experiences. So every single thing your childhood self has told you is a lie, because a child can't accurately depict, translate, interpret anything that it experiences. So basically you spend the whole rest of your life either running from that programming or having to reprogram that programming. And when you don't reprogram it, that's what destroys your life. And so that's basically what my journey was. And so I finally, after enough pain, I had to start facing, those lies, those false beliefs, those false identities. And so that's why like the 4 Agreements is such a powerful book. You just get bombarded with these externals, but the thing we don't remember or we don't really acknowledge is that our childhood self is pretty dumb.
It's like just
no other
immature
way to put
thinking,
it.
So yes. But one thing I really like,
100%.
Before, like we've had these discussions when it was me versus me, or me with me versus Christ with me, and that transformation. Because I know the audience sees all the tattoos and the inks and things like this, which that's the past, but your past doesn't dictate your future, and you are the epitome of this to show that, hey, that past is the past. The future is completely different. And even when you were going through all of these life events, just tragic things that you did, you always saw more of a future. Like you stepped out in faith many different times. Like even in incarceration, you're going to school, even in homelessness, you're going to college. Like you were trying to find ways to better your life in every other fashion. But when did it actually change? It's when you gave your life to Christ, right?
Oh yeah. And what ended up leading to me giving my life to Christ was the journey I went on to meet my birth mom. And that's where the healing really happened. And then that's when everything snowballs, college, doing cool internship stuff, being able to serve the same demographic that is my why in business. I refer to as giving a voice to the voiceless. And so it was all those accumulated over time. And it's like, you can't deny what is there. You at first didn't understand what to label it as. You didn't understand like who it was. It's like a blurry image in a sense. And as soon as when I got baptized, I know it's just a public declaration, but like when I solidified that declaration, I'm like, hey, I'm a representative of Christ. Like I want to exude Christ-like behaviors. I want people to see Christ in me through my actions. Doesn't mean I'm perfect, but what is that impression? And then how does someone take that impression forward in their life? And being baptized, like after that, it's just wild, man. I'm just saying, like your darkest lows, just like Molly spoke about, like you're just like, you're struggling, you're in survival, like you're doing everything, but nothing's working out. And like, I still struggle with it. I think we all struggle with it, but like when you really are able to put those things, take that weight, hand it over. I think like that's just a concept that you're not taught in any other way. And it's a mindset. It's a perspective. It's a point of view. And that's like, you don't learn that anywhere. And so my walk with Christ, man, me versus me is absolutely terrifying. It is terrible. It's like, I know me versus me is like consistently like gauging your growth, but it's also constantly looking at where you were. And so the way I look at it is me versus me is back to present, and Christ in me is now to the future, because now I have this perfect resemblance of what to embody. Like if you have a favorite public figure, like if you say, hey, I want to be this person, you don't know the skeletons they have in their closet. You don't know the things that they had to sacrifice in order to get there. So you're putting this, this energy and this, concentration into this thing that you don't know the equation of. And it's a potentially very slippery slope. And so that's like having that with Christ is like, how I say, you can't go wrong. It's a beacon, forgiveness, love, compassion, empathy, doing good unto others, impact. Like you can't go wrong. Like there's no way you can go wrong. And so that for me is just it's just a game changer, man. Like they don't teach you this stuff in school. They don't teach you this stuff in prison. They don't teach it when you're, out and about, doing worldly things. And so, that's just a huge
I'm going to
change
take
for
a
me.
little bit of a shift here as we kind of go through the conversation. All of this, our show is about thriving in life, faith, business, all of these things. You you have like harnessed AI just like I have, and a lot of our groups that we do. AI is the wave of the future, right? Like those are new things with this, and us as believers, we're trying to lead from the front with AI. I would love for you to touch on AI. How do you use it? Like, because your system is incredible. So talk about that a little bit. His Facebook page is right here on the QR code, where he's talking about this stuff on a regular basis, about how I can use it. But touch on AI.
Yeah, so you can't stop it. It's a snowball, and it's efficiency, it's speed, it's intelligence. I mean, the smartest person now is now being challenged by something that is quote unquote artificial. And so when you look at business, when you just look at the gaps of education to achieving a desired outcome, for example, I dropped out of college as soon as GPT-3 came out and I wrote an essay. I'm like, oh, wow, this is like, I've got to pivot now because what I'm on is not going to get me anywhere. And lo and behold, in 2024, it's now more valuable to have AI knowledge than it is to have a college degree. And so there's a shift in the market, businesses, jobs, employers, like the whole thing about it is people now are preferring AI knowledge and experience over just like a college degree. But at the same time too, is anybody now can go do something that used to require like production level outputs, used to have like a degree, you know, and all these things. Like you can go create, get like, you know, look at video, for example, like you go produce like high grade ads now. And now you're just like this person who's been doing ads for 20 years.
You can be an expert.
And so for a gap of knowledge required, for it to be smushed like this, that's disruptive. And it's also an opportunity. So, I mean, life is all about perspective. And so that's the big thing about AI is it's an opportunity. It is not your demise. It's only your demise if you choose to do nothing. And so, I mean, how do I say this? That one thing you wanted to do that you couldn't do that maybe you thought would be fun to do, but AI can do it for you now. Well, now is your opportunity to go learn a tool, spend a few weeks learning it, spend $20, $40 on a subscription.
Not very expensive, yeah.
And here you are.
Well, with the AI space here, we're going to be actually creating another AI show for the network here. We're going to be teaching a lot of AI, the you know, kind of the do's, don'ts, how you can utilize these things. So Ty, I'm sure you'll be a guest on our show with that. But one thing I'd like to kind of end up here. You got about a minute left here, but a message for the broken, like in our audience, if someone, you know, feels stuck in addiction, trauma, shame, how do you like encourage them to take the next step? What is that next step? It's a good question, right?
You are the problem. It's something you start from your childhood and move forward. And like the way I look at it, like I just simply is like the thing you're running from is the very thing you need to run towards. And there's 9 out of 10 times it has something to do with something before you were 10 years old. It's got something to do with something before you were quote unquote an adult. And so running from it is really what's causing the problem. But like facing it, you know, embracing it, accepting that it is what made you who you are, and what you could perceive as a weakness can actually be your number one strength. And so it's about the perspective of how you've labeled those past experiences. But first you need to identify it, and then you need to relabel it. And then now you can rewrite, you know, your story moving forward.
Step into Christ, man. Ty, thank you so much for being on the show, brother. We'll see you more here with the AI shows with this. Love you, brother.
Hey, good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, thank you.
Rob.
Oops, sorry, cut him off.
Ty's story, man, is incredible. I know we didn't get into it too much, but you know it more as well. Just you've had communications with him. But Rob, we've made it another day. It goes so fast.
Another week and nothing. I was thinking about next week. There's nothing for me to brag about. I have nothing. I'm gonna have to between now and then create something. Another great show. Hey, listen, we appreciate you. Go check out our great merch right there. And we appreciate each and every one of you. And Jason and I want you to go out and thrive.